On January 3rd in 2015, we will have the Adidas Freshman All-American Bowl in San Antonio, Texas. And the teams have been revealed. We're going to take a little bit of time to tell you who's playing where. We've got a red and a white team, and these distinguished gentlemen to my right, Erik Richards. He's coming out of retirement to coach. He'll be the red coach, and David White, who's a veteran of the East Bay and FBU bowl game system, will coach the white team. How are we doing, gentlemen?
It's been a fun-filled week out there at East Bay practices, and looking forward to getting San Antonio to the first Adidas Freshman All-American game, Neil.
No question about it. David, I know you're excited because you're a veteran of these things.
Absolutely. I'm looking to get after Erik Richards and kind of mix up this run they've been having in the East and actually kind of do a draft format to pick two best teams and go head-to-head with Erik.
Against the 1-0 Erik Richards.
1-0
1-0, but that record is on the line. What was it, 2009, your last coach?
Way back in 2009.
All right, well, let's get to the moment of truth. You're going to unveil position by position. Erik, we'll start with you at the quarterback position for the Red.
At the quarterback, I took Gunnar Falk from Georgia and Jacob Sermon out of Washington.
And I took Trevor Lawrence out of Georgia and Dorian Thompson-Robinson out of my hometown, Las Vegas.
And moving on to running backs, Christian Malloy out of Georgia and Jason Labbe out of Maryland will be playing for Team Red.
And for the Team White, running backs, my two running backs will be Rico Fry out of Georgia and Craig the Squirrel Williams out of Crosby, Texas.
And every good running back needs a good blocking fullback, and that's where I've chose Desmond Williams out of Rockwall, Texas.
And I've got Ethan Balot
from Salt Lake City, Utah.
But he's a really good player. Salt Lake City from Utah.
Tight end, I'm going to be lining up William Lisenby from Dripping Springs, Texas, where the water runs fluid.
Actually, exactly. And then I took Brevin Jordan from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Now getting down to the guys that always want the ball, the wide receivers, right. I picked Top Gun alumni and former East Bay alumni, Darius Krieger from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I also chose Dallas Craddock from Missouri, and Joshua Cornett, representing the great state bluegrass country, Kentucky.
And I took another kid from Georgia, Brian Mitchell, P.J. Harris, and I want to say it's Jamari Joyner from Tucson, Arizona, to make up my three-headed monster there. Great receivers.
At center, Team Red is going to have Sebastian Delasadas out of Don Bosco High in New Jersey.
And the furthest west you can go, I got center from Honolulu, Hawaii, Siri Liu.
Going down the offensive line, I'm going to round my offensive line out with Cameron Shepard from Wichita, Kansas, Jermari Salyer from the hometown A-Town, Atlanta, Georgia, Max Wilhite out of Chad Carpenter country over there in Goodyear, Arizona, Jack Carter out of Hayes Greer country in Charlotte, North Carolina from Davis Day, and Chris Beckham out of Fort Worth, Texas. Who knows what country that is?
Exactly. I took my lineman to be Isaac Tuya from Las Vegas, Noah Sherburne from Canton, Georgia, Casey Holman from Brookwood, Georgia.
I put all my Georgia guys.
I took all the Georgia guys. Then I mixed one in, a big monster, a beast from up in Minnesota and Farmington, Jacob Smith. And to wrap it up, I took another big boy from up there in Big Ten country, Emil Okayor from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Bear in mind, we should say that geography has no bearing in the red and white teams here. Go ahead, guys.
All right, athlete that's going to be doing everything on the field, a little DB, a little wide receiver, a little running back, a little kickoff team, a little kickoff return. I took Vernon Patton from Beltsville, Maryland, and Justin Becker from Fort Wayne, Indiana, that outran Blake Leeper at Top Gun.
He does. He has lots of speed. My two athletes, I took Scotty Robinson out of Rock Hill, South Carolina, and Deion Locklear from San Antonio, home of the game. But before we move on, we got a couple linemen that we also missed here. You got Jack Carter?
Yeah, Jack Carter from Hayes Greerland again.
Oh, you already got him?
Yeah, and Chris Beckham from Fort Worth, Texas.
Gotcha.
All right, moving to the defensive side of the ball, Neil. What do you think about that offensive draft?
I recognize a lot of names. East Bay Youth All-American Bowls, FBU National Championships. I think both of you take a lot of pride in the rosters that you've drafted.
Yeah, I tell you what helped us a lot was out at Top Gun. A lot of these athletes attended Top Gun and really gave us a head start on the draft. Now back to the seriousness. Starting in my defensive line, I started inside with the defensive tackles. We're going to have Cameron Good out of Washington, D.C. lining up. Josh Walker from Carrollton, Georgia, so Whitey didn't have to take another Georgia kid. And Alo Laga from Eagle Mountain, Utah.
Then I went down to Robert Cooper out of Snellville, Georgia, Austin Fontaine from DeMatha, Maryland, and my last D tackle, Dawson, the Night Stalker from Paintsville, Kentucky.
Out at defensive ends for the red team are going to be Darnell Jeffries from Covington, Georgia, Samson Reed from Honolulu, Hawaii, and Teron Vincent from Baltimore, Maryland.
My three defensive ends are Braden Smith from Tucson, Arizona, A.J. Forbes from Bellevue, Nebraska, and to finish that group up, Jake Venables from Clemson, South Carolina.
A lot of star power in that one with a Clemson defensive coordinator and the NFL player advisory, Troy Vincent's son, Teron Vincent.
No, absolutely.
All right, at linebackers in the middle, I'm going to have Vinny Girona from Honolulu, Hawaii. I'm going to have KJ Phillips from McDonough, Georgia. I'm going to have Jordan Jusevich from Lowell, Indiana. I'm going to have Noah Taylor lined up from Waldorf, Maryland.
Going against those guys, I'll have Khalid Jones from Greenville, South Carolina, Justin Maskell from Snellville, Georgia, Karina Reed from Provo, Utah. I mixed the West Coast guy in there. And another West Coast, one of my guys, Skylar Salva from Las Vegas, Nevada.
All right, and going to the DBs, and Bookie, he won the coin toss, so don't get offended with me. Lining up at DBs for me is Christian Tutt from Thompson, Georgia, Derek Allen from Marietta, Georgia, Kamachi Hobbs from Waco, Texas, and Kevin Brennan from Lansing, New Jersey, another Don Bosco player.
And, just a comment on the Vegas guys, the Bishop Gorman guys, #1 team in the country. I had to get a couple of those guys, and they kind of said they wanted to play for me anyway. So, with that, cornerback, I got Brendan Bookie, Hadley Hills, I believe. Riles, no, it's Hills. Riles Hills. You didn't know your last name, it's an H. He sent me an R, so I'm your guy, Bookie. Anyway, Verone McKinley out of Carrollton, Texas. Joel Mewis out of Katy, Texas, 2 big programs down there. And then Marcellus M.J. Rivers, who's just an all-around great player from Carrollton, Texas.
And then, going down to kickers, although Team White won't need them very often, I'm going to take Jake Camarda from Norcross, Georgia.
And I got Tyler Fukuroda from Honolulu, Hawaii.
Where at? That's it.
That's it. That wasn't the audio version of War and Peace. It was the rosters for the Adidas Freshman All-American Bowl, powered by FBU. And as you probably could tell, the gentlemen have not majored in linguistics, but they do know football. So tell me about your defenses and what are your early impressions?
I mean, if Top Gun's any indication, if the FBU National Championship's been any indication, if the East Bay All-American Bowl has been any indication, these kids can flat play. And what we've also found through the huddle submission, highlight, and nomination process is we found some hidden gems in here that we did not know about that are going to be out there. So I think we added up, me and David, and over 50% of the roster has Division I offers already, which is pretty impressive for a freshman class. And I think what we're most excited about is what Adidas is going to do for these kids this first year in.
Full list of the players' names will be available on the FBU website, so make sure you check that out. And this is not the first time Football University has had a 9th grade game. It was one of the great games last year in San Antonio. Now Adidas has gotten on board, and I expect nothing but more fireworks this year.
Absolutely, it was. And I think it's important to call out and mention that several states out there do not allow freshmen to participate in this. So you did not hear some states being called, the Floridas, the Californias, and so on, that do not allow their athletes to participate once they've entered the high school market. So unfortunately, we won't be able to use those kids, but those kids will be eligible for the combine in next year, their sophomore year.
The biggest faux pas, gentlemen, your shoes. They're the wrong color.
We're going to make a trade.
You're gonna have to
We're going to
switch.
make a trade here if Whitey can get in a size 9.5.
Well, those look like size 6, so I'm going to see if I can maybe get into 6s here, and I'll get into my 13s.
Well, either way, they're 3 stripes down.
Right. There we go. Adidas.
Well, congratulations to the rosters and those that will be playing on the red and the white. The red coached by Erik Richards and the white by the namesake David White. That's January 3rd, 5 p.m. in San Antonio, Texas. The Adidas Freshman All-American Bowl, powered by FBU, and those are your rosters here for 2015. For David, Erik, I'm Neil. So long.